Hello, Discover Kids. I miss you very much. It's week 7 of Amazonia, the last week. It's actually been a really great series, too. This week we're learning about God being in control. And we're learning about that in the story of Job. So if you haven't heard the story of Job, he has a really hard life, okay? But there's one really cool thing that Job does throughout all of it. So let's listen to the story. There was a story about a man in the Bible named Job. When the story starts, he had it all. He had a wife, 10 kids, tons of servants, sheep, camels, and donkeys. Job was well respected by others and got to do fun things. But most of all, he loved and obeyed God because he knew that God had given him everything he had. So how do you think Job was feeling? Happy? That's right. One day, while God and his enemy Satan were talking, Satan said that Job only loved God because God had given him such a good life. God told Satan he was wrong and that soon he would see. That's when things started to take a serious turn for the worse in Job's life, and several of his servants came to him with really bad news. All of his animals had been stolen or killed, and many of his servants had been killed as well. As if that wasn't bad enough, a strong wind had come through and killed all of his kids while they were sitting and eating. With all this terrible news, how do you think he felt? That's right, very sad, right, Christian? Then Job got on his knees and cried out to God. But he wasn't angry at God. Instead, he said, God gives and he takes away. Even with all the terrible things that had happened to him, he still praised God and knew that God was in control. But things didn't stop there. Satan told God that Job may have praised him when he lost many things, but there was no way that he would praise him if God allowed him to get sick. So God allowed it to happen. Job got very sick and got painful sores all over his body. Painful sores all over his body. Okay. Even when Job was in so much pain, he never said anything bad about God. But his wife and several of his friends could see how sick he really was, and they told Job that he should blame God for all of the terrible things that kept happening. Eventually, Job just couldn't take it anymore, and he said, I want to die. He felt so bad. Job would soon be reminded that God was really in control of things. After Job spoke to some of his friends, they weren't sure if they would really believe that God was in control. His youngest friend spoke up and told them they were wrong. Then a voice suddenly came out of the wind. It was God talking and reminding Job that he was full of wisdom that no one could understand. Job realized that God really was in control, no matter what was happening in his life or how he was feeling. So he prayed to God, and God blessed him with double of everything that he had had before. How do you think he felt now? Happy, Christian is telling you guys. Okay, so Job suffered many things, but he was always really positive about God. And I think that's a really great story, that sometimes bad things happen, but we have to know that God is in control, and we have to have faith that he's got it handled for us. I love you guys. I hope you're starting off to a great summer. Hopefully you're getting outside and doing some fun things outside. I miss you. Can't wait to see you. Have a great week. Next week we start a new series, Camp Wanna Stay. I will talk to you next week. Bye guys.